Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the weekly weather briefing, and we are looking at the weather ahead. This is the 27th of July, 2025. We'll be talking about the weather, what is expected through the next several days and into the end of the week. We typically do an update in the middle part of the week as well. So, taking a look at satellite imagery here, we can see just before the sun dips over the horizon, you can see it's kind of hard to see it right here. Actually, let me see if I can stop it right there. It's not going to let me do it. Anyhow, we do have still some Saharan dust. You can kind of see it right there, that white pasty, that kind of milky like imagery there in the satellite. And the thunderstorms have been kind of staying off to the west. And that's generally because of the easterly flow, and along with the drier air, has been pushing the thunderstorms, what few thunderstorms that develop, towards the Gulf Coast. And this is going to be kind of the pattern we're going to be seeing as we go through a good part of the week here. So, with that easterly flow, we might get a few showers that pop up right along the coast, but the big storms will be off to our west. And so, how does things look as we go through the next few days? Let's talk tropics real quick. There are no issues in the tropics to be worried about right now. Even going further out, going from the end of July into early August, there's a very minimal chance of tropical development anywhere off the coast of the Carolinas out into the Gulf, and that is a 20% chance or less in the long term. So this will be an area that we'll be watching as we get into maybe the end of this week, beginning of the next, to see if we're going to have any issues. A front is going to be moving into the area, and that's possibly what they're looking at. When we go further on into the future, August 6th into August 12th, mid part of August, we're looking really good without any tropical development. Doesn't mean something can't spin up, but generally things look pretty settled so far. The hurricane season really doesn't get ramped up until the end of August, so things will probably be changing out there quite a bit. Taking a look at the weather map and what's going on out there. So high pressure has been in firm control, which is one of the reasons why it's been dry and it's been so hot. And that big high pressure dome kind of keeps all that heat trapped in here. And now as we get towards tomorrow, looks like things still stay hot. Looks like weak low pressure tries to take shape up in Georgia, but that's not really going to have an effect, and that kind of stays there. Generally, the pattern doesn't change that much. So taking a look now, how are things looking down here in Flagler County? This is Monday's heat index numbers. This is what's expected. There is a heat advisory in place tomorrow from noon until 7 o'clock. And that's the way it stands right now. That information can change. So the expected heat index numbers. So just to understand what this is what the feel-like temperatures are. So why is this important? Because this is what your body is going to react to. So if you're not staying hydrated, your body is going to react to these temperatures, not what the actual thermometer temperature is. So we're looking at heat indexes well over 110 degrees in some places, generally just a little bit over 110 for most locations, and also maybe right at 110 in the eastern part of the county, and then closing in on it at the coast there, where we'll have a little bit of relief from the sea breeze. Now, as we get into Tuesday's heat index numbers, not much change. We're still staying pretty hot with those heat index numbers getting up to 114 out in the west side of the county, perhaps 115 or even higher, hotter than that. And as we get into Wednesday, still kind of staying the same picture with those heat index numbers up over 110 degrees. There'll probably be more heat advisories in place. Thursday's kind of the same way. And as we get into Friday, we're still in the same way. As we get into Saturday, we're still in the same picture. So let's look at actual temperatures. What are the actual temperatures looking to be? For tonight, we're looking at lows largely in the 70s, mid to upper 70s inland, and maybe right near 80 at the beaches. The ocean temperature is right around 82 degrees, so it's going to modify that air mass. Now, tomorrow, looking at actual high temperatures flirting with 100 degrees at many locations. Upper 90s near 99 on the west side, mid 90s along the coast, and lower 90s at the beaches. And then tomorrow night, still in the 70s. Kind of the same deal as we go through the week. Upper 90s for most of us, maybe even flirting with 100 degrees. And as we get into Wednesday, still the same, very hot temperatures. And as we get into Thursday, maybe a tiny bit of relief, but still quite hot out there, mid to upper 90s. And as we get into Friday, still hanging in those upper 90s at most locations, cooler the closer you get to the beaches. And as we get into Saturday, we're still up in those high temperatures, though starting to get a little bit of relief here. So what about rain chances? How is that looking? Let's talk about that. And we're going to get to the rain probabilities right now. So tonight, basically 0 chances. And tomorrow, very minimal chance. Any chance at all is going to be on the west side of the county, where it's about 13% chance out here. Most other locations are going to be looking at about a 10% chance or less. So Monday looks to be dry, and consequently, it'll be quite hot because of that. Now, as we get into Tuesday, now we start to see chances start to increase a little bit. So maybe 30% at the coast and maybe about 40% inland. So that's a good sign. It tells us the rain chances are starting to come back up. So Wednesday, a little bit better, maybe 50% inland, but still about a 30% chance coastal area. So your best rain chances middle part of the week. Further inland you go, the better chance of catching a shower storm. And most likely because of this regime where we have the easterly flows still pushing the big storms inland. Now, as we go further on into the future, get into Thursday here, we're still looking about the same. And as we get into Friday, still about the same. And then as we get into Saturday, though, we start to see the chances really come up. And there's a front coming in, and that's going to change the winds to become more out of the south and the southwest. That'll increase our rain chances by Saturday. So that's definitely a good sign. We'll have to see if that actually shakes out, because Saturday's a long way off, and there could be a lot of changes between now and then. So let's look at your temperatures and look at your precipitation chances. Let's take a look at precipitation amounts. Really not that much, up to an inch for the next 7 days. That's really not a lot for us. For folks that's joining us, if you missed the beginning, you can go back and rewind after we're done here. So let's talk about long range. What are we looking at here, long range now? So let's go and take a look at long range forecast, and this takes us to August 6th. So if we zoom in on Palm Coast, we're still looking at above normal temperatures. This isn't like hot summer temperatures. This is above than what the temperature should be. That's what this represents. Precipitation chances, we're looking at maybe above normal chances of rainfall. That's also a good sign because it might give us a little bit of relief here from the heat. Now, going further on, going into the middle part of August, so towards the middle part of August, again, let's get locked in and get closer. Let's get locked into Palm Coast here. And we're looking at still about a 50% chance of temperatures being above normal and kind of equal chances of above or below normal precipitation, maybe just edging above normal, just barely above normal maybe, as we go into the middle part of August. So let's go further. Let's take a look at how things are looking for the month of August as a whole. Now, zooming in on Flagler County and Palm Coast here, we're looking at pretty much a 42% chance of being above normal, a 25% chance of below normal, and 33% chance of normal temperatures. And precipitation, we're looking at a little bit above normal chances for precipitation for the month of August. So that's what that's looking like right now. At the beaches right now, UV index is extreme. It's kind of hard to see this. There's a moderate rip current risk out there. Just be aware of that. Your ocean temperature 77 to 82 degrees, surf 1 to 2 feet. Again, I want to key up UV index is extreme, so make sure that you are wearing a sunblock if you're going to be out there. Not just at the beach, but anywhere outside. So just to kind of wrap things up here, taking a look at the briefings from the National Weather Service as we wrap up our briefing here. The heat advisory Monday, there is an extreme heat warning for coastal southeast Georgia that does not apply to us. Could they change things? Yes, they could, but right now it looks like we are staying out of that. So high temperatures, upper 90s near 100. Heat index numbers up to 113. And this kind of shows where all those heat advisories are, including Flagler County. Again, the extreme heat warning is up here, southeast Georgia. And expected maximum temperatures. They didn't list Palm Coast in this one, so we're just going to skip right on. But just, again, some reminders that heat illness can sneak up. And you want to make sure you are absolutely staying hydrated and definitely get medical assistance if anybody has an issue. And again, out in the tropics, no concerns out there. That's going to wrap it up. Everybody out there, have a great evening. Thank you for watching. Again, if you're just coming in and you missed it, you can rewind. We'll be posting our YouTube link too shortly. Have a great evening, everybody.